field, Sue Desmond-Hellman and Lisa Cooper, leading this effort. Now, the goal of public health is to prevent illness and to promote wellness, and we all know that in order for that to happen, public health workers need to both reflect and understand the communities in which they work. So we made 4 recommendations that we think will make significant help in both recruiting and supporting great public health professionals. Then in August, we wrote a letter to you on public engagement in research and development in that enterprise.
And I read it.
And you read it. All right, it's good to hear that. And so you know we had a triumvirate of just excellent leaders leading that report. So we had Saul Perlmutter, Vicky Sato, and Phil Venables. So we had an astrophysicist, a biologist, and a computer scientist teaming up to bring their diverse perspectives. And what we focused on in that was how to amplify both the voices and the input of the American people into the process of research and development. And then finally, earlier this month, we released a report on patient safety. And again, we benefited from tremendous leadership. So we had Joe Kiani, who's a healthcare CEO, team up with Eric Horvitz, who's an MD, PhD, and a corporate chief scientist. And you'll be hearing a lot more about the results of that report in our briefing today. And so, Arthi, I'll now turn it back over to you.
I just want to add my thanks. Every one of those reports on these consequential issues took a lot of hours from people around this table. They tapped a lot of other experts. These are all people who have demanding day jobs, and I just want to express my gratitude. The work in each of those areas is really starting to make a difference from your efforts, so I really appreciate that. Let's talk briefly about what we're going to do during this session. First, we're going to do a deeper dive into the patient safety report. This is an issue you know well, Mr. President, and this is so vitally important for people across every part of America, and this report makes some recommendations that we think will really move things forward. That's a specific topic that we'll focus on, and then the rest of the meeting will be a broad discussion about artificial intelligence. You've been very clear from the beginning that this is one of the most consequential technologies of our times. And because of your leadership, this administration has moved with focus and with urgency on a whole raft of actions. I think that's been very important work. Very appropriately, those actions have focused on where the technology is today, where the applications are today, what the risks are today. But the reason we are doing all of this work on AI is because we want to use it to do big things. That is the point of the exercise. And doing big things is what science and technology is all about. So we asked PCAST, with its tremendous expertise in this area, to step back and really show you today some examples of how AI is knocking down the walls so that we can see new frontiers in research. And that's what you'll be hearing about from some amazing experts who are doing this every single day. We're going to talk about 3 examples. One is about using AI to predict weather extremes as climate changes. Another is about using AI to create materials that have the properties we've never been able to create before. And then the final topic is about using AI to understand the origins of the universe, which is literally as big as it gets. And that's the agenda today. So with that, I will turn it over to you for your opening remarks so you can kick us off.
This is a 14-hour meeting. Look, let me begin by saying that one of the things that disturbed me being involved in elective office for a long time is how over the last 30 years the federal government has paid less and less attention to investments in science and technology. And we're in a situation where we used to have a significant portion of our GDP going into research and development. And it got down to 0.7% from 2%. We used to lead the world. And I don't know how we can be the safest, most secure, and healthiest nation in the world without significant investment in science and technology. And I mean that. And so you've all really stepped up. And one of the things that I also, it doesn't directly relate today, but Arthur and I talked a little bit about it earlier this morning, is that what leaders say matter in terms of people's confidence in things they're not sure about. And one of those areas, you saw what happened with regard to the crisis, health crisis we had that lost well over 1 million people. And as time began to move on, you had more and more voices saying, no, 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 you don't need to get that shot. You don't need to be engaged. You don't need to. And we have a new strain of COVID now, and we have answers for it. But I just would urge those in public life, and both political parties or no political party, to be cautious about the sometimes inflammatory things you say about this, because people's lives are at stake. And the last piece was when I was vice president, for a slightly different reason, I spent a lot of time going between rural areas and urban areas. And one of the things that you're going to talk about here is the healthcare workers reflecting the community. We need not only to have more focus on rural communities and rural hospitals in order to get the kind of care and attention they need, but we need to have people from those communities to be the ones who are trained and engaged in that effort. And I think that, again, Arthur raised that with me this morning. I can't tell you how certain I am that that is necessary, and I'm not a scientist. It matters. It matters who you go to. Do you trust what they're doing? Do you think they know what they're talking about? And so, Dr. Zuber, thank you. I'm really looking forward to this discussion. And this group represents some of the top minds in America. And that's, again, not hyperbole, that's a fact. I've often said America's the only nation in the world that can be defined by one word. I spent a lot of time with Xi Jinping when I was vice president and subsequent to that. And he once asked me in the Tibetan Plateau, could I define America for him? And I mean it sincerely, not a joke. I said, yes, one word, possibilities. We've always believed anything is possible if we set our mind to it. Possibilities. And science and technology allow us to unlock the potential as a nation and meet the challenges of our time with some sense of urgency and purpose. I can't emphasize the word urgency too much. I'd hate, like hell, 3 generations now, and look back on this period where we had the potential tools to explore and increase significantly our ability to help. And we somehow messed it up. No, I mean it sincerely. I'm sorry to talk so plainly, but I think that's what it gets down to in many cases. So I'm looking forward to discussing actions that were taken in 2 priorities: AI, artificial intelligence, and expanding high-quality health care for every American, no matter where they're quartered, where they live, what their background is. You know, as we just heard, AI has the potential to transform research, and I'm looking forward to learning much more today. By the way, I'm not joking. My latest 2 trips around the world, not figuratively, literally around the world, to meet with other world leaders. Well, I just wouldn't say everyone. I can't think of anybody who did, but I'm sure there was some world leader who didn't ask me. They wanted to talk about our leadership in artificial intelligence and what the meetings I've conducted already around tables similar to this with the 10, 12 major initiators in AI. And the vast differences exist among them in terms of what potential it has, what dangers there are. And so, you know, I have a keen interest in AI and convene key experts on how to harness the power of artificial intelligence for good, while protecting people from the profound risk it also presents. We can't kid ourselves. The profound risk if we don't do it well. And the United States is committed to that goal, and we're going to work with world leaders to achieve it, including British Prime Minister Sunak and others that they want to do more together with us. And I want to thanks to our administration's 15 American technology companies have already begun to implement voluntary commitments to help ensure that AI technology is safe, secure, and trustworthy before it's released to the public. That includes extensive independent safety testing. That includes watermarking and identifying images that have been generated by AI. And to state the obvious, AI extends beyond health and security issues. I applaud the tentative resolution from the writer's strike, for example, not here, in California and Los Angeles, including insurances on how the use of AI will occur. This fall, I'm going to take executive action, and my administration is going to continue to work with bipartisan legislation so America leads the way toward responsible AI innovation. We're also taking action to ensure our loved ones have access to high-quality health care, starting with the PCAST report you released on strengthening patient safety. I made very brief reference to it at the beginning, but it's really, really critical. And today I'm announcing major investments in patient safety, from ARPA-H to develop antibiotics and to fight deadly drug-resistant bacteria and save lives. Think of that. We're talking about the potential for antibiotics to be used to deal with, anyway, it's just, when I start reading your reports, I think to myself, my Lord, what an incredible era we're about to go through. But it has to be done well. And so finding and implementing solutions to reduce medical errors and other problems for patients' experiences when hospitalized is going to improve health outcomes and protect our loved ones as well. And Joe Chiani knows a lot about that, been working with it a long, long time. My administration is committed to ensuring every American receives high-quality care they deserve in every community, urban, rural, suburban, tribal, and it varies. Think about it, I say the public may be listening, think about whether or not who you go to and how much you trust that doc is going to impact on whether you follow the instructions. I mean it. It's a very basic human nature elements. And that's why having people from, quote, the neighborhood makes a big difference, I think. And so it's going to reduce medical errors and other problems patients face when they're hospitalized. And I believe it's going to improve outcomes and protect the people we love. My administration is committed to ensuring every American receives high-quality care they deserve in every community, as I said. And ultimately, it's all about dignity. It's all about dignity. The actions we take together are going to help protect people's health, they're going to promote innovation, and we're going to win the economic competition of the 21st century, in my humble opinion. And I'll just say, if we have a government shutdown, a lot of vital work in science and health could be impacted, from cancer research to food safety. So the American people need our Republican friends in the House of Representatives to do their job, fund the government. We've got a lot to discuss, so let's get this meeting started. I'd rather hear from you than me. Thank you.
Mr. President, do you think the government shutdown is inevitable at this point?
I don't think anything is inevitable in politics.
What can be done now to make sure it doesn't happen?
If I knew that, I would have done it already.
Mr. President,